Welcome to tonight's edition of Sports Corner. I'm Dante Centofanti.
And I'm Austin Arnold. The women's basketball team played their final game of the regular season on Saturday against crosstown rival Akron. Let's go to the MAC for some highlights. As Akron had nothing to play for this game, this was their final game of the year. For Kent State, however, this was for a potential possibility of getting a better tournament bid. As Kate Shoemate goes to the rack for two. Later on, Shoemate would find Thal, three-pointer from downtown Kent, Ohio, as she had a great game of her own. Later on, Kendall Miller, right before the buzzer, gets a two-pointer to fall as she was keeping the Zips in this game. Later on, Nyla Blackford and one to the rack as she drives down the lane, gets a nice two. Kent State, later on, there's Kate Shoemate with the double chance opportunity off the rebound. She had 15 points this game. Casey Santoro drives right there. She had 10 points as well. Later on, Jordan Dawson, she would fire a three to keep the Zips in it. That one was good from downtown. But in the end, it was just too much for the Zips as Mariah Modgkins hitting a crucial three and then Nyla Blackford basically sealing the game. Kent State wins 64-58. They get the 5th seed in the conference tournament. Let's go to Todd Starkey for post-game words.
But this was a great win. Obviously, you know, against Akron, every time you play them, it's going to be a tough battle. And we knew it being their last game this year that they were going to give everything all the way to the end. You know, we got off to a quick start. I wouldn't necessarily say we took our foot off the gas. We just struggled to finish in the second quarter, and allowed them to get back in the game. And then it was kind of a back and forth game battle the rest of the way, like you would expect a rivalry game. If we can continue to defend like we've been defending and we start knocking down some shots, I think we have, you know, as good a chance as anybody to win in the tournament.
Hello everyone, I'm Matthew Mergen. I'm extremely excited about these MAC championships coming up. Let's take a look at the women's team's matchup. Looking at this first round matchup for the women's basketball team, it may look familiar as this is the 4th season in a row the Golden Flashes take on the Buffalo Bulls in the opening round. In this season's earlier meeting between Kent State and Buffalo, the Golden Flashes were able to take home the 65-62 win behind an 18-point and 9-rebound showing from Nyla Blackford. In last year's opening round, the Golden Flashes eliminated the Bulls 72-66 and were the highest remaining seed in the tournament prior to the cancellation of the championships.
All right, let's take a look at the MAC women's bracket, shall we? Austin Arnold. Bowling Green is going to take on Eastern Michigan in a 1 versus 8. You have Central taking on Northern Illinois in a 2 versus 7. You have OU taking on Ball State 3 versus 6, and you have our Kent State Golden Flashes, a key 4 versus 5 matchup against Buffalo. The last time they played the Buffalo Bulls was February 24th, and they beat them, and the one before that was canceled due to COVID.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a great 4 through 5 matchup. And if you want my honest-to-God opinion, Dante, this is going to be a very close game all the way throughout. Now, Matt, what do you think will be the keys of success for this Flashes team against Buffalo in the first round?
I think the biggest keys to success for the Flashes will be who else steps up besides Nyla Blackford in the tournament. Nyla Blackford had 21 points, she went 21-5-1 in their most recent game against Akron, and I think that it just depends on who else steps up on the team in order for them to win in the first round.
Now, Matt, what is your biggest concern that you have for this women's team come tournament time?
My biggest concern is defense. When they played Bowling Green here at the end of the season, Bowling Green shot 56% from 3. If the Flashes allow that to happen, they have no shot at winning or being able to advance in the tournament. So, and then after fixing the defense, will they be able to hit the big-time shots is my question.
Now, Matt, here's the biggest question of all. Who is the biggest threat to Kent State this year in the MAC tournament?
I think Bowling Green is the biggest threat. They've looked really good all year, and I personally have Bowling Green beating Kent State in the second round of the MAC tournament. I think Kent State will beat Buffalo in the first round. However, I don't think they can beat Bowling Green. When you look at Bowling Green's schedule, they have lots of convincing wins, and their losses are very close games to their opponents. To beat this Bowling Green team, you are going to have to play a complete game. They have 3 women averaging double-digit points per game. They play physical defense. They win the games they're supposed to win, and their tough games are extremely close. They also do a great job rebounding the ball. I have Bowling Green winning the MAC against Ohio.
All right, thank you, Matt. Unlike you, however, I have to say Kent State is going to go ahead and lose to Buffalo in the first round. And then in my MAC championship for the women's bracket, I have Central Michigan beating Buffalo. This Buffalo team just looks way too poised, and I think they're going to want revenge in the first round against Kent State after what happened a couple weeks ago. Buffalo is a very dirty team when it comes postseason time, and DeAsia Fair is going to prove it.
Now, I think Bowling Green and OU is going to be in the final, just like Matt said, but I think it'll be close, but I think Bowling Green's going to win that game. As far as the women's team and how they're going to fare, I think they will beat Buffalo. They proved a lot when they played Buffalo. They're coming into the postseason, with a lot of momentum, and I think that's going to be a big factor in them beating Buffalo. However, I don't think they will beat Ohio in the next rounds, or Bowling Green, rather.
Yeah, and Bowling Green looks really good this year, Dante. I mean, they are clearly the favorites to win the women's side.
Now let's take things to the men's basketball team, who closed out their regular season with an 81-67 loss in an away matchup with the Buffalo Bulls. The Flashes rested starters Danny Pippen and Justin Hamilton in a losing effort, with Travell Beck leading the way, tying his career high of 19 points. Kent State finishes the regular season with a MAC record of 12-6, earning them a 4 seed in the conference tournament in Cleveland. The Golden Flashes look to a Thursday, March 11th showdown at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse with the 5th-seeded Ohio Bobcats in the quarterfinal round of the MAC championships.
Now we go ahead and take a look at the men's bracket. Toledo and Ball State, that's the 1-8 matchup. Number 2 ranked Buffalo will take on the number 7 team Miami of Ohio. The number 3 team Akron's going to face Bowling Green at number 6, and then Kent State, the 4-5 matchup against OU. Dante, that 4-5 matchup with Kent State OU, I know they've only played one time this year, but you have to think it looks good for Kent State.
Out of all the first-round games, partner, this is going to be the most intriguing first-round game. It's not just because it's Kent State, but I truly believe you have two very alike teams. Both teams have solid defenses. Both teams have very potent offenses with scores and people that can run up and down the floor that are very athletic. Dwight Wilson is 6th in the MAC in rebounding. They got to contain him. And obviously, Jason Preston, who's arguably one of the best top 3 players in the Mid-American Conference, he is going to be a problem. You got to contain him, which they did a good job of doing in Athens earlier in the season. But Kent State's the best defensive team in the conference for a reason. Rob Sinderoff knows March basketball. I could see them getting past OU, and I could see them making a very, very big run in this tournament.
I totally agree with you, Dante. The key for the first round game is just containing Jason Preston. He is an NBA-like talent. If you could stop him on all parts of the floor, this Kent State team should have no problem getting to the second round. They've already beat OU once this year. Let's see if they can do it again when it actually matters come postseason time.
And let's go to Matt with his predictions on the men's basketball team. Matt, what are you thinking?
Like you guys, I have Kent beating Ohio in the first round, but I think Kent loses to Toledo in the second round. Toledo is a very good, well-rounded team. And for the MAC championship, I have Buffalo beating Toledo. In their one matchup earlier in the year, Buffalo out-rebounded Toledo 53-30 and 25-8 on the offensive rebounding. They also shot more free throws, they just didn't convert, and they were a dismal 2 for 14 from 3. They also took 10 more shots than Toledo. The shots just didn't fall, and that does happen sometimes. But I think Buffalo will beat Toledo because of their aggressiveness, their rebounding, and I think they will have improved shooting in the MAC championship game.
I think you're all making it too big a deal of Buffalo. I mean, they are coming into the MAC tournament with a lot of momentum, but you got to remember Akron is one of the more athletic teams in the Mid-American Conference, and they're one of the better scoring teams in the Mid-American Conference. That's why I think they're going to go to the championship round. And you guys forget that Kent State has a lot of revenge on their mind after losing 2 very close matchups to Toledo on the road and at home. 2 games that they arguably should have won, pretty much should have won. I think they're going to remember that, and I think they're going to take that in with Toledo. Toledo's coming into the MAC tournament, even though they are the number 1 seed in the regular season champs. They do not have a lot of momentum on their side. Kent State doesn't have a lot of momentum either, but I think they're going to gain some when they beat OU. And I think you're going to see a Kent State-Akron championship, and I think Kent State goes to the tournament.
And see, that's where I'm going to have to differ with you because, like you said, there is too much non-momentum going Akron's way, and that's why I don't think they're beating Buffalo. Regardless, Kent State will beat Ohio, and then they will go on to beat Toledo. It's very hard to beat a team 3 times in a year. I don't think Toledo gets it done the 3rd time around. However, Buffalo is peaking at the very perfect time in all of this because they've won 5 straight games. They've beat Kent State. They've beaten Akron. They have beaten all the teams that they've needed to beat, and I think they're going to go to the MAC championship. This is a program history of seeing Buffalo get to this far in the game. I think they'll go to the MAC championship. They'll face Kent State, and I just think Buffalo is going to have too much on their mind, and I just think they're going to beat Kent State. It's going to be close, but I don't know if it's going to be the game that Kent State's going to hope for. And when we come back, could the baseball team find success against the number 2 ranked Bulldogs? Find out when we come back.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Welcome back to Sports Corner. The Kent State baseball team was in Mississippi this past weekend. In Austin, they came to play.
Yes, this team did come to play. The Kent State baseball team took a little trip to Starkville, Mississippi over the weekend, and like you said, they were in a 3-game series. And Kent State, however, they did lose 2 of those games, but they were able to win on Saturday by a final score of 9-5 and completely controlled that entire game. The team was supposed to play West Virginia in a 2-game series, but that series was canceled due to COVID concerns and protocols by West Virginia. The baseball team's next game is at home on Friday at 3 p.m. against Salem University.
Now the volleyball team began their duo of matches against Miami with a 3-0 win over the Red Hawks on Thursday evening. Leading for the Flashes was junior Lena Straycheck, totaling 6 blocks, including the team's only solo stuff. In the second meeting with the Red Hawks, freshman Breen Roberts led the team with a career high of 30 digs in the losing effort to Miami. The Kent State volleyball team is scheduled to play 2 matches at Ball State this upcoming Thursday and Friday to get back into their winning ways from the beginning of the season.
Taking things to the field, the Kent State women's soccer team followed up their season opener with a 1-0 win over Buffalo at home with a Sunday wagon wheel matchup with Akron. The Golden Flashes owned the possession battle in the entire first half, creating multiple scoring chances, but when it went into the tied break, with it being 0-0 with the Zips, Kent State came out in the second half playing more lockdown defense, helping to create a 60th minute score from senior Yasmin Hall. The Golden Flashes rode the 1-0 lead all the way to the final horn to win their 10th straight wagon wheel victory against against Akron. Kent State looks to keep the momentum rolling next Sunday as they travel to Oxford for a battle with the Red Hawks.
Let's get back to the diamond, shall we, partner? The Golden Flash softball team capped off action at the Easton T-Town Showdown this weekend in Tuscaloosa in a battle with the Northern Iowa Panthers. Gabby Sherman led the Flashes on the mound with 6 strikeouts through 4 innings pitched for the sophomore pitcher. Despite the effort on the bump, Kent State was hitless through the first 3 innings and dropped the game 5-4 after a Panthers home run in the 7th inning. The Golden Flashes travel to Missouri for their next tournament and open up action against the Iowa State Cyclones on Friday.
And now let's keep you updated with the KSU gymnastics team. Toshi Richard was first place floor routine at 9.9. Kennedy Weinper got second place on the vault with a 9.8. Madison Iannuzo came third place with a 9.7. And Rachel DeCavich, along with Samantha Henry, tied for first on the place beam with a 9.825. Great job for the KSU gymnastics team.
And the lacrosse team lost their road opener to the Cincinnati Bearcats on Sunday afternoon, 15-5. Madison Ray Pierre led the Flashes with 2 goals, scored lifting her season total to 8. Abby Jones joined her teammate on the score sheet, marking the duo's 7th straight game of each scoring at least 1 goal dating back to last season. The Kent State lacrosse team looks to flip a switch on the season in a Saturday wagon wheel matchup at home against the University of Akron.
And from lacrosse to the track and field area, the Kent State track and field team will be sending 4 athletes to the 2021 NCAA men's and women's indoor track and field championships hosted by the University of Arkansas. Representing the Golden Flashes will be shot putters Gabby Bailey and Grace Tennant, pole vaulter Leah Pascaletti, and the winner of the MAC's Most Outstanding Field Performer of the Year, weight thrower Jake Wicke. This fantastic group of Flashes look to represent Kent State on a national level on March 11th and through the 13th. But when we come back, we have top 5 plays from Kent State all around. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. You will not want to miss it.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Welcome back to Sports Corner. The NBA All-Star Game was in full effect in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's get to the action. One of the great scenes in professional sports, the NBA All-Star Game. They were honoring HBCUs this weekend. We go to Steph Curry with a phenomenal pass to LeBron, and he bounces it sky high to Rudy Gobert for a slam. Then 49-47, KD's team. Paul George with a great pass to LeBron James. Vintage slam for the King to tie the game at 49. Then 61-58, Durant's team. Kyrie Irving takes it coast to coast for an alley-oop to Zion Williamson, making his mark in his All-Star Game career. Steph Curry, he's not going to go for the logo, is he, Austin? Yes, sir, he did. Booking it from half-court. Vintage Steph Curry, he had 28 points in this game. Then Joker to the Greek Freak. Beautiful play there. Then it's Dame time in Atlanta, Georgia. He's going to pull up here with a little razzle-dazzle on Donovan Mitchell. Deep three. Good. Then he's going to extend LeBron's very big lead at the top of the key. Good. Then it is really going to be Dame time after this. Team LeBron would win this game in high fashion, and a lot of money went to a lot of historically black colleges in this night as Damian Lillard pulls up from near half court. Team LeBron wins 170-150.
Now getting into the second half of the season for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Dante, what do you expect from this Cavs team now? They ended the first half of the season a little bit on a run after losing 10 straight games. What do you expect for this Cavs team?
This is going to be the key, Austin. They need to make sure that Darius Garland and Colin Sexton both get collective touches, because when both of these guys have 20 points in a game, it's a recipe for winning. When you get the backbone of what your franchise should be, which is these two guys in a backcourt, that's got to be the testament to what this franchise should be going forward. I mean, obviously, get Jared Allen his dunks. You know, he's going to get you rebounds. He's going to bully in the paint. But that's a recipe for winning, and they need to stick to that recipe.
Absolutely, I totally agree. And by the way, Darius Garland has to stay healthy.
Yes.
If that backcourt can stay healthy, they will go above and beyond. Jared Allen's been playing good too. Let's get to Houston and Memphis over the weekend as Landers Nolly II with a nice and one attempt for the Memphis Tigers. Later on, Nolly would find his man Malcolm Dandridge for the dunk, powering it down in Houston. Later on, Tremont Mark misses his shot, but later on, DeJean Jarreau with the finish at the rim for the Cougars. Later on, Jarreau, he said, I can dunk, but I could also hit a step-back 3-2 way downtown in Houston as he puts the team up 1. And then this sequence was absolutely insane. Memphis gets the rebound. Boogie Ellis, let me boogie for you real quick. Puts it at a tie game, but at 1.7 seconds left, an inbounds pass by Marcus Sasser at the buzzer.
It's March, baby.
Tremont Mark, 67-64. One more last look of this. This is unreal.
It's March, partner.
Houston wins 67-64. What a game.
It's beautiful. Now let's get to the Big Ten tournament preview here for the premier conference in the Midwest. That's not the Mid-American Conference. Iowa coming in with a lot of momentum. Michigan is the regular season champ. Ohio State, they got a lot of work to do. But Illinois, with the big win, even with injuries, they were able to get a key win in Ann Arbor this past week. Austin, who do you like in the Big Ten coming into championship weekend?
As you just said, Illinois. I mean, they've been able to beat Ohio State. They just beat up on Michigan. I think Michigan's starting to decline a little bit in terms of winning the tournament. They have dropped a couple straight games, but the Fighting Illini are no joke, and that team has been able to get huge wins down the stretch. They're peaking at the right time. Something just tells me this Fighting Illini team isn't going anywhere, Dante. They're here to play.
I mean, Michigan is the clear team to beat. I really am not liking what I'm seeing from Ohio State coming down the stretch. I really like what I'm seeing from Illinois. Illinois is a team that has a lot of shooters. They have a lot of good athletes running up and down the floor. But Ohio State, they got a lot of work to do if they want to contend in the Big Ten.
And only time will tell with how the Big Ten tournament will shake out. Let's get to the top 5 plays from Kent State University. At play number 5, the Kent State baseball team getting it done in Starkville with a 9-5 win.
Then let's go. Lena Streck gets the nice kill for Kent State volleyball, but they would fall short to the Redhawks.
And play 3, Katie Shoemate gets the rebound and puts it up for a hook shot over 2 defenders.
Nyla Blackford kicking it out to Mariah Modkins for the go-ahead 3 against the Zips.
And play number 1, Yasmin Hall finding the net for the win. 1-0 over Akron. That one is always a sight to see. And when we come back, we have our award-winning segments, My Magic Moneyline, the Centofanti selections, and our Men on the Silver Mountain. So don't go anywhere and don't turn that dial. We'll be right back.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text-to-emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. How could you not love him?
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year, 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 88. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to Sports Corner, everybody. And without further ado, let's get to my Magic money line. And it has been rough this year. It really has. Trust me. I know we are 4-8 on the year. We went 1-2 and should have went 0-3 over the weekend. However, I hope these bounce back in terms of the correct selections. I have the Blackhawks they have plus 115, over the Dallas Stars tonight. Then the Islanders plus 100 over the Bruins tomorrow. And then in college basketball, I have Oakland University plus 112 over Northern Kentucky. They will find their way to the Horizon League Championship game. Whether they play Cleveland State or Milwaukee is up to them.
And let's get to my Centofanti selections. The 2020 NBA All-Star Game was not an easy watch. There was a suspect result to the dunk contest, an OK skills competition, and the Players Association and City of Atlanta really didn't want it. But the atmosphere in terms of celebrating HBCUs was spectacular. Two iconic marching bands in college football, Grambling and Florida A&M, performed before the game virtually. The league is committed to helping HBCUs by donating $3 million, along with both teams fighting to donate to the Thurgood Marshall College Fund and United African American College Fund. Clark Atlanta University's choir rendition of Lift Every Voice and Sing was beautiful. Historically black colleges were well represented last night in the ATL, and it was very powerful and great to see.
And staying on the All-Star game, my man on the Silver Mountain is none other than the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's the third player in NBA history to win the MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and All-Star Game MVP in his career, as he joins Kevin Garnett and Michael Jordan in that group. The Greek freak was the first pick in the All-Star pool this season, and rightfully so, as he has contributed with 35.7 rebounds and 3 assists while shooting perfect 16 for 16 from the field. This was also his first win in the annual game, which makes this accomplishment more surreal.
And partner, my men on the Silver Mountain is the Kent State baseball team. Luke Albright pitched 7 innings of great ball at Doobie Noble Field Saturday. They were followed by St. Ignatius product Michael McNamara and redshirt senior Ben Carew with multiple RBI games as the Golden Birds defeated one of the great brands in college baseball in the second-ranked Mississippi State Bulldogs. Flashes baseball is on the come-up as the team makes its way back here to Orga Burrell Field with games against Salem and Grand Valley State this week. Dak Prescott's deal, Austin, he just got paid and he made $40 million. Isn't that spectacular?
It's great. It's absolutely fantastic. $40 million is a great price.
What would you do with $40 million?
A lot of things with $40 million.
But specifically?
Probably a new car, new house.
New house.
Just some updates.
And that does it for this episode of Sports Corner. Thank you all of Portage County and Kent State University for welcoming us into your homes this Monday evening.